So good news there. Any good news else in the world?
Not for FSU. They got snubbed.
Oh, no.
And FSU is 13-0. Me personally, me personally, I'm
snubbed from what?
I'm trying. Let me explain. Let me explain. So they were snubbed from the college football playoffs. The actual selection process happened last Sunday night. That
happened already.
Yes, sir. No, that's it. Sorry, Saturday. No, Saturday night. It was Saturday night. Saturday, I believe it was Saturday. Yeah. Because you can actually look at it now and see who were selected.
I gotta see this. Hold on.
Yeah. So it was Saturday. It was yesterday. So this is very interesting. So FSU being 13-0, right? You're expecting like, okay, yeah, it's FSU. They should definitely be in the top 4. They end up finishing 5th, right? But this is what happened though, right?
What's the list?
So list? You can just put who's in the CFP. Okay. Just put that. You'll get a bunch of links there. So basically, try to get this pretty quickly. So basically, just real quick, Michigan came out to number 1. Number 2 is Washington. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Alabama. So this is why people were kind of a little upset because they were like, Alabama should not have gotten that spot, right? Remember Alabama was number 8, right? But this is what happened though. Alabama beat number 1 Georgia yesterday.
But they lost to Tennessee.
That was a while back. But listen. Let me finish. They still beat the number 1 team. And because they beat and they were number 8, they beat the number 1 team and they jumped them 4 spots. Right? This is why Florida State got snubbed, right? They got snubbed because the last couple that number one, number 2, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because that tells me that you're really a lot of the rankings really because of like depending on because a lot of the ranking system is about like the returning players and how good the players are and that stuff. But for one person on your team to be that heavily weighted is kind of crazy to me when it comes to the ranking system. But anyways, there's another thing.
It's only 4 teams, right?
Yeah, so it's only 4 teams. But this is also what happened with Florida State. The way even though they won, the way that they won didn't look good, and they use like metrics, right? So like for example, University of Miami, they beat UM, right? But they beat UM 27-20 when they were supposed to smack them, right? They end up playing North Alabama and they smacked them 58-13. Like, okay, but we played them, right? Florida played Florida State. They beat us 24-15. I was still kind of blown about that because we should have beat them. Because if you saw the game, we definitely had opportunities to beat them. So that also didn't look good. That was an ugly win. And they played Louisville and beat them 16-6. That wasn't a pretty win either. And because metrics are also used in this, like they have actual analytics where they use algorithms to even do part of the decision making. The wins weren't the margin wasn't wide enough. It wasn't wide enough. So they end up just kind of like being stuck in purgatory a little bit. In Alabama, being a number 1 team and actually beating a number 1 team, and being that they were number 8 and beating the number 1 team, it significantly jumped them up to number 4. So basically, Alabama came through the back door. That's what happened.
They slid in through the back door. That's what I'm saying. This whole time Alabama should not be in here.
Yeah, they slid it through the back door, man. And so obviously Georgia got knocked out. So Georgia is like number. Hold on, where Georgia is right now. I think I saw it earlier.
The one thing I think I saw about this is how like who had better wins, right? And so
yeah. Oh, Georgia number 6 right now. Yeah. So
yeah, Georgia's number 6.
Yeah.
How does this? Is it the top 6 or top 5? Top 4?
It's 4. It's only 4 teams.
It's only 4.
Yeah, and the selection went down, so that's it. It's locked. That's it.
Locked.
Yeah.
So it's Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. These bastards are in again. You just can't get rid of them. You
cannot get rid of Alabama, man. That's so crazy, bro.
But at least there's SEC team.
Yeah, so but that's another thing somebody else mentioned, which I thought was funny. They're like, you just can't have the CFP without an SEC team in there.
Without SEC team. So that's probably also giving them
that's another thing. Yeah.
And if you win the SEC,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
So
what if Bama had already had 2 losses, but they won the SEC?
They probably would have stayed. They probably would have been number 4 at the very least. Yeah,
but they're number 4 now.
No, not Alabama. Alabama. Yeah, actually, so honestly,
would that have
Actually, you know what?
helped
That's a
them
good question. But I think they still would have ended up being like number 4 or like 5, right? They probably would have been like 5. Probably would have been 5, right?
Not to put them in.
Yeah,
Especially you have some other teams that are that have one loss.
yeah,
You got Ohio State. You know,
Yeah.
you probably would have been in that bit.
yeah.
And
So you
that
got.
was that Georgia's one loss? Was that game?
I believe it was. Yeah, I believe that was. Yeah.
So maybe
believe that
Georgia
was.
would have stayed. Maybe Georgia would have dropped to number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Hypotheticals.
Yeah. That was Georgia's only loss, and they lost at the worst time. And they play and they play next week on the 30th. Well, in the championship game, they play Florida State, so they're gonna feel some kind of way. But 5 and 6 is always gonna play 5 and 6. That's the championship game they play with them in the Orange Bowl. But yeah, it's out of there. They can't basically they can't play for national championship. If you're not in CSP, you can't play for national championship. So basically, FSU fans are upset. Honestly, I enjoy that they're upset because I don't like FSU. I don't care. But that's what happened. But I understand the frustration. It's kind of wild though. I think FSU should have still been in there though. But because they didn't lose, right? And they still had a pretty tough schedule. Like the strength of schedule was still pretty tough. But when it comes to CFP, man, them late losses, man, get like that last 3 or 4. If it doesn't look decisive, then it's always gonna reflect bad on you, especially if you're not from the SEC. So that's
FSU,
that's it.
I don't care. I mean, like, I care more that I'm more upset that Alabama got in there.
Yeah, that's everybody. That's everybody, really. Yeah.
That Vente, if you're gonna drop Florida State, then put somebody, maybe I don't know who else maybe you would have put Ohio State up there. Okay, it would be still kind of like weird, but like to then make it Alabama, that's going to be 4 spots. 4 spots.
A team that we literally said 2 weeks ago or like a couple weeks ago, we're like their chance of making CFP is gone. And for them to still get in there through the back door, man, it's kind of like, yo.
Anyway.
So that's just that. So that's also low key. That's also actually probably gonna translate into Alabama's recruiting because kids are probably looking at like, oh, they lost and they still was able to get in there.
I don't know.
So I'm still gonna go to Alabama.
But I don't know though. Like we got another year of the transfer portal and all that stuff.
Oh, that's true.
About to be in the mixed into the so people making some different calculations these days.
It is because the transfer portal is definitely much more active than it's ever been, especially now that you don't have like in a lot of situations you don't even have to sit out a year anymore. You can literally just transfer to the team and play the same season. So, but yeah, that's my report on that. So FSU is mad, but hey. It is what it is. Sorry. Yep.
Oh, you like that? You like that, didn't you? Well, for more clips, click here.
Absolutely. And for the full show, click here.
I can't even see your hand.
Oh, crap.